You guys know this project as the Boston Harbor Reno. We've been working on this project with Amy Anderson for fixtures and finishes, and Heather Marshall actually worked on this with us to resituate the layout and rework the space of this 707 square foot condo located here in Boston Harbor Hotel. The space was really difficult to work with. It's a small footprint located here in the Boston Harbor Hotel. We couldn't move a lot of the utilities. Bathrooms had to stay where they were. Kitchen had to stay relatively in the same spot. Laundry, things like that. So we had to get really creative and make this space more of, a multi-use space. So the kitchen, dining, living room, bar were all really going to be one space, and figuring out how to make them cohesive but well defined was really important to us. We opted to open up everything, remove the soffitted ceilings, make one continuous ceiling throughout the entire space, and push the kitchen over into an L-shaped corner. We actually switched the location of the sink and relocated the cooktop as well. The cabinetry we had to get pretty creative with because number one, we wanted everything integrated with the thought that if everything's integrated, then things aren't jumping out at you, thus making the kitchen feel larger. So we opted to go with a Miele integrated dishwasher, a Sub-Zero 36-inch refrigerator with 2 freezer drawers. Adjacent to that, we actually threw the washer dryer in. It's an ASCO unit. It's nice because it actually developed its own hot water. The hot water heater that we had in here was a really big one to support a washer dryer, a kitchen, a dishwasher, as well as a shower. By using the ASCO unit that makes its own hot water, we actually were able to reduce the size of the hot water heater significantly, allowing us to shove it into a closet off of the master bathroom. The island is really the centerpiece in this room. A lot of it is fixed off of that center point. So your television, your fireplace, your island, your couch, your ceiling detail, your lighting, your speakers, everything is based off that center line. So right when we finished demo, we actually snapped a line on the ground saying, this is our center line. Let's work and design the rest of this unit off of this point. And you can really see that when you pan down from the ceiling, across the island looking at the TV. Fireplace is actually electric. It does have a heating element. It doesn't throw off a ton of heat. It's more of an ambiance, I guess. But we wanted that aesthetic of a fireplace with a television over it. Speaking of the television, we designed everything around a flush mounted TV. The tile wall, actually we built a recessed niche with an extending television bracket to allow that TV to fit perfectly in the space. Now here's where I messed up. It was the only thing we left in this unit when we started construction. I wrapped it up, thought it was fine, only to find out that at some point in construction it got damaged. But we were lucky in the sense that we found a TV that was the exact same size. That's obviously a concern when doing a flush mounted TV or something that is framed out, is finding a TV that fits. But we did. It actually was slightly bigger and fits the hole even better. When you walk into this unit, the first thing you realize is you're in this tight hallway. I don't like that. In doing the chevron pattern on the floor, I looked at it as a psychological move, meaning it's pointing towards the living space. It's the first thing you're gonna look down and notice that pattern, and you're gonna be driven to come into the living space and really enjoy the rest of the space rather than feeling as though you're in this tight hallway that's just not welcoming. Right off the entry, tucked in the front corner there, is a powder room, a basic renovation. We left a lot of this intact. We replaced the baseboard with our flush baseboard detail. We installed a large format tile on the floor and ran it up the wall. We actually ordered a vanity off Y Living, the website, and long story short, it was 2-week lead time. We ordered it, came back, said it was 16 weeks. We canceled the order. I showed Ken in the shop, hey, we gotta build this vanity and I need it tomorrow. Ken basically went right to work, built the vanity, matched what we found in Y Living, kept it on budget, and we were able to get that installed. Truth be told, that was something that was overlooked. We never made a decision on it early on in the process. That was kind of one of those rooms where we weren't sure what we were doing, and it just got missed, but we were able to get it installed prior to delivery. We have a 2-tone kitchen. It's a mix between modern and transitional. We have a very white upper cabinet with walnut lowers. We are using a shaker panel door with a slight sharp bevel to the rail and style detail. Amy worked with A. Mark Martin and chose all the hardware for the cabinetry. We have a couple different finishes. We have polished nickel. We also have antique copper as well as copper itself. Those were the 2 metals that we were gonna play with. If you work your way from the powder room, you're gonna start with chrome. and you're gonna make your way into the kitchen, and it's gonna be a mix between chrome and copper. And then you make your way to the master bathroom, and that's all copper. So it's kind of a progression of using those two metals and mixing them so everything is cohesive. Everywhere else is actually hardware-less. So everything is a touch latch. We use the Bloom push to touch. You push the panel, door pops out, and you're able to open it. So you'll see that on the closets, on the vanity, on the bedroom cabinetry that surrounds the bed. Working our way into the bedroom, you'll notice this door actually matches the powder room door, but it's a true style. It's a very modern horizontal grain walnut door. And as you enter the bedroom, you'll see the bed is straight ahead, and we built this awesome lacquered white cabinetry. It has flanking storage, and then it actually has more of a bookshelf that faces the pillows that acts as a nightstand. An outlet in there so you can charge your phone at night, have an alarm clock, and the inside is all walnut. And then what you're seeing from the outside when you're not in bed is all lacquered white. You have flip up doors on the top, and then Amy worked with an amazing upholsterer and had this really killer blue velvet headboard made. That was custom made to fit the bed. The closet across from the bed is all built into the wall. So this was a real struggle for us. We ended up building basically 24-inch lockers, but very deep. Some of, I believe they're a little over 40 inches deep. And we turned all our clothes storage perpendicular. So usually you grab the hanger and you pull it out, but now they're perpendicular, so you actually pull the rod out and you're able to pull all your clothes off. We were able to maximize storage and really get all the clothes in a similar size it was before, but just utilizing the cubic inches at this point to the max. The whole wall is taken up by closets, doors, pull-outs. We didn't have a place to hang a TV. So we decided that we had the room above the ceiling, that we were gonna entertain some sort of bracket to drop the TV from the ceiling down, so while you're in bed, you can view it. So we ended up finding this really killer bracket that's designed to hang televisions basically face up inside the ceiling, and then when you want to watch it, you hit the power button on your remote. In this case, we're using that Control4 system. Television drops down, and then the moment you turn your TV off, it flips up and out of the way. What's really nice is, the majority of people, when you walk through that room, you don't notice it. It's there when you need it, but when you don't, it's tucked away, out of sight, out of mind. Working our way into the master bathroom, we actually use 2 different color tiles, but it's actually the same tile that we use in the powder room. We used 3 shades of this tile line, which we purchased from Tile Bar. I worked with my boy Jacob over there, and in the master bathroom you can see we did a lighter floor and then dark, almost black walls throughout. I really like this tile. It has more of almost like a burlap texture to it. It looks like a fabric. In the shower, you actually have that back wall, which is the Caesar stone white Attica. So this was something really cool, and I basically drew it up on a napkin, and I went down to Metropolitan. I sat down with Brian. I said, Brian, this is what I want the shower wall to look like. I want the niche to look like it was chiseled out of one big piece of stone. So we chatted back and forth, figured out the best way to fabricate it, and next thing I know, we're installing it. I'm hopping on site with the guys. 2 giant slabs are on this back wall with 1 seam in the middle. And then on the ceiling, you can actually see that we ran that white Attica across the ceiling. And it took a lot of coordination because we have, number 1, it's a steam shower. So we gotta keep that not just waterproof, but vapor proof. But we're installing that piece of stone on the ceiling with 2 recessed cans and a rain head. So we have plumbing hanging, we have electrical hanging, and that stone has 1 shot to go up and be secured into place while we tile the walls up against it and then install the back wall of stone. And you can see the antique copper fixtures in here. And when you walk into the shower, you notice that we put the valve on the right. So when you open the door, you can turn the shower on and you're not reaching through the rain head or the shower head. It's out of your way and you're not getting wet. There's a bench underneath so you can sit down and relax. And underneath the handheld is the steam unit. We don't really have a place that we can hide a steam unit. So if you look at the mirror above the vanity, that mirror is actually situated on a French cleat. That mirror lifts up off the French cleat, and there's actually a niche back there, which we tiled and put the steam unit in there. So it's super serviceable. We're also dealing with a couple existing things in this building that we can't change. For instance, the windows. We are in the Boston Harbor Hotel. These windows are part of a high-rise. We're not able to change them, and they wear this horrendous color. It's actually hunter green on the outside. I think they might have been hunter green on the inside because everything is super white in here. It's super bright and modern. We end up spraying these black, which as you guys know, We do a lot on our projects. It gives it that cleaner overall look for the window. And in my opinion, when you look through the window and you see that beautiful view of Boston Harbor, the last thing you want is something interrupting that. And I feel like black is a good color because it kind of just, it exists, but you're not really staring at it, where if it's off-white or a white, it really pops out and kind of is in your face. The island is multifunctional. We have 4 bar stools for watching TV, but it also acts as extra prep space for the kitchen. We decided that we were gonna waterfall it, and we did a small bevel on the underside of the top and the top edge of the side. It's more of a natural stack. Stone area is where you're gonna have your food, your drink, and then we want that 24-inch depth because we also hid storage cabinets under it. I think we split it like 8 and 16 or something, and that 8 inches is walnut, just to break it up. The backside of the island was a picture I came across actually on Instagram. The moment I saw it, I actually saved it in one of my collections. Every once in a while, I'll go back through. But once we were using white and walnuts here, it was the first picture I grabbed from my collection and said, we have to use it on this project. So we did. We actually went with the Control 4 system in this unit. Now that controls audio, that controls the televisions, it controls the automatic shades, it controls the temperature. What was important to the homeowner is that he could play his iPod on the speakers. We actually split it up amongst different rooms. Even though they're not different rooms, we can control them separately. We also have a patio outside that we throw an outdoor speaker on. I think there's somewhere around like 12 or 14 speakers in this 700 square foot condo. So this place can definitely bump when it needs to. We ended up hiding all our audiovisual equipment above the washer dryer. It's also compatible with Alexa. You can control everything with your voice if you'd like. You also have a tablet or a traditional remote. One important detail that I really pushed on the homeowner was our baseboard and our casing details. We opted to go with that 1/2-inch shadow bead, about 5 inches off the floor. This flush baseboard really makes the wall monolithic. It allows the space to feel bigger and not pull any attention away from the other elements in the room by having some sort of detail at the floor. Same thing around the doors. The doors are super cool looking. That rich walnut, we'd run that 1/2-inch shadow bead around our door jamb, paint it all monolithically white, and allow the finishes and the fixtures to do the talking. The bar area is really cool. So there's a few elements that we implemented in this. We just have a traditional cabinet for some additional storage. Then we put a 15-inch Scotsman nugget ice machine, which really drove this renovation. The homeowner has a favorite Chinese food restaurant, and he asked me if we could put a nugget ice machine, and both of us kind of went our separate ways doing our research, and we both came back to the same exact model. Scotsman came through and has a standalone nugget ice machine for a residential application. To this day, he says it's the best thing he's invested in. Then we paired that with a beverage fridge to the right of it, and then we got this really cool tile for the Backsplash from Saks. Really this like antique mirror with a chicken wire. It's just super raw. You can see the handwork on the edges. Everything's broken by hand. It's a really cool tile. It only was fitting that since we had that window and we weren't installing a ton of that tile, that we needed to use the natural light from the window but hide the window at the same time. So I actually had Ryan over at RMS Ironworks fab up this 1/4-inch plate steel, basically window niche with 3 shelves welded into it. So when we installed that around the window, you have these almost floating steel shelves that complement the antique mirror look fairly well. That bar area was another important aspect of this build. Our stacked stone joint, we matched that detail to the island. That's a wrap on our Boston Harbor reno. Thank you to Amy Anderson for working with our client for fixtures, finishes, as well as furnishings. Heather Marshall, who worked with us on the overall layout and the architectural standpoint of this 700 square foot condo here in Boston Harbor Hotel. I appreciate you guys following. And if you guys want to check it out on Instagram, it's #Boston Harbor Reno.